Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining me at the first instalment of Star Trek: The Next Fornication. And yes, folks, that was the real introduction. I just thought that I'd keep it in because it's, well, just a bit too funny. Anyway, on with the story. Captain's log. Stardate 4569.69. Personal note, there's nothing to report really. I just love saying 69 whenever I can. The Starship Enterprise, affectionately known as the Spreadlegs to its crew, is making its way through the dark void, penetrating farther than ever ship has before. Exploring virgin territory excited the crew. Tensions are high, but the well-trained crew keep gently massaging their consoles, coaxing the fine-tuned instruments to do the job. Nothing can be heard but the pounding of their hearts, their breathing, and the throbbing and pulsing of the massive column in central engineering. The bridge crew were at their positions. Despite years of training and experience, their eyes are nonetheless lust-filled, inserting their ship into unexplored space. There was some slight apprehension, but it soon vanished, almost as the popping of the balloon as a confident voice spoke. End log. "Tits about time for a scanner report," said William Riker, the hunky first officer. "I agree, number one," said Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the vessel. Balding, Picard was not quite as hunky as Riker, but he had more class. Besides, rumour had it that if one were to drop the soap around Riker, it would be better to leave it lay. But actually, he would fuck male and female alike. He and Deanna Troi had once had a fling, but she dumped him for growing a beard. "When you eat my cunt, I can't tell where I end and you begin," she had offered as a reason. But now working so close to him had rekindled the flame. "Make it so, Mr. Worf," said Picard. "I'm sorry, sir. A male Klingon does not sew. Neither do we skip or prance around. I do not press flowers, though I occasionally wear women's clothes. But you must remember that the clothes of a Klingon female have huge spikes. In addition, certain other garments have devices of a rather personal nature, which just happen to be near the orifices of the body." "He meant," Riker said, "you fucking idiot. Do the scan report. So, not so." Worf blushed, if it were possible for a Klingon, and made a thoroughly probing scan of the dark area ahead, reporting negative. "Ensign Crusher, give us heading 324.7, Mark 83, warp 6. "Twat's that, you say? I can't hear you." "I've got an ear infection, sir," the boy said, laughing and almost falling out of his chair onto his cute tight ass. "I'll paddle that cute tight ass later, when it's quiet," Riker thought to himself. Big-titted nympho Deanna Troi, an empathic half-trapezoid, looked at Riker with wide eyes. Her feelings were suddenly distracted from lust-filled daydreams of Tasha Yar, and she turned her attention to the ex-lovers as she felt his thoughts of a young male sex. Seeing that he had aroused Deanna, and thinking quickly, Riker said out loud, "I'll paddle that cute tight ass later, Mr. Crusher, when it's quiet." Rising and throwing out the chest and pelvic region, Wesley said, "Sir! Yes, sir! Very good, sir!" The whole bridge crew could see a bulge in Wesley's crotch. Riker's bisexual exploits were legendary, a topic of discussion in 10 Forward. Wesley, however, due to his inexperience, would poke his cock into anything that was wet, if he ever came across anything that was wet, and if it would let him. His previous experience had been limited to jacking off and fooling around with a tent mate on a holodeck camping trip. As the seams were on the point of ripping, Wesley could feel the eyes of the female crew members zeroing in on his zipper. Or, where his zipper would have been if it wasn't the 24th century. His hard-on pounded, saluting the gaze of Deanna, Tasha, and even his red-headed mum. He about passed out with the thought of fucking any one of them. He had picked on his mum fingering herself, but had done nothing more than jack off while watching her. Of course his mum didn't know, and she would be embarrassed to death if anyone found out that the upright Beverly Crusher finger-fucked her cunt to relieve sexual frustrations. How long had it been since she had even sucked a cock? The last was her quickie blow in sickbay, a triple-headed 14-inch alien wanger. She would be mortified if she knew that her son had watched her relieve her sexual tensions in her own bed. "Head for the showers at shift change, Ensign," said Picard, acting before things got out of hand. "Ding-a-ling," said Riker, grinning broadly as the bridge crew convulsed with laughter at the punchline to a centuries-old joke about the three monks. But three of the crew weren't laughing with any conviction. The three horny women, who would love to let a hard-on slide in and out of their steamy cunts, Tasha, Deanna, and an increasingly horny Beverly, whose horniness was so intense that she thought any male erection aroused her. Straightening her uniform and breathing deeply, Beverly prepared to give her medical report. While Tasha could pick up any young stud on the ship, Deanna could finger and dildo her cunt to their feelings of fucklust on everyone at the ship at night. Beverly had to take sex where she could get it. Or more accurately, where she couldn't get it. For she hadn't had her brains fucked out in years. The last time was, well, modesty forbid. But his initials are JLP. She wasn't even sure her pussy would lube up to a cock anymore. The where she could get it most often turned out to be the fingers of her right hand, roaming around the inside of her panties. "Captain, I don't think we should be cocksure and stiff as we ram into this sector. Readings indicate there might be more life forms ahead," the doctor said. "Beverly, why don't you go to the holodeck and get laid before you explode?" Picard said. Gulping and whimpering like Kirstie Allen, Beverly lowered her head in embarrassment. She stood, straightened her jacket to cover the protruding nipples of her braless tits, and headed for the turbo lift. "Captain, you and Mum are pretty close," Wesley said after she'd gone. "Maybe it's time for a little dicky donkey." "Yes, Captain. I can feel the lust and the distraction she is feeling in her horniness," Deanna said. "She is in definite need of a good poking." Little did they all know he had spent several nights between the lovely redhead's thighs at the Academy reunion, screwing her to screaming orgasms. But that's another text file altogether. Thank you all for your input. But I have a lover, and she's called Enterprise, said the captain.